G'day all. So welcome to the next layout build. There's been some other videos being put up, it's not a big deal. End result, long discussion with Glenn and the ultra modern concept. For these boards, it won't work. I need to make curved boards to make that particular location fit. So between that and there, the fiddle yard will work exactly the same as this one does, and it won't make a lick of difference, so I'm not losing anything. I've already built these boards, so I wanted to look at a location that I'd never done before and use something that I haven't used before, and that's tillage track and doing some dual gauge. So the location, I'm not sure if I shared it before, is basically between cutting number 1 and cutting number 2 on the Avon Valley line, so in WA, which is dual track, dual gauge, and hence you've got sort of 2 L's on the SCT here. And yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've just laid the track. I can put the pins are in there, so the glue is drying, but I was really trying to get the scale correct, I guess is the right word to say here. As you can see here, that's the height of the cuttings. Obviously I'm going to have to make little standoffs to come out and widen this section because it's just built too narrow. These are older boards, and so you know it is what it is. But anyway, look, that'll give you an idea of the scale I'm going for. The boards end to end, from the scenery side end to end to over there, that's 22.5 feet basically. And you know, you've got this nice gentle curve which is in the location. It goes curves between 2 of these cuttings. In between that, this is a fill here all the way across. So here's an example of the diagram sort of thing. So obviously I'm going to have to build little sections out here and out there. And I'm going to revise this, and they're not going to be that short. They're going to come up around here, and therefore every one of the sidings will be, again, 22.5 feet long at the minimum or the maximum. So yeah, and using the tillage track. I hadn't used tillage track before, and Fred from Orient said to use their own joiners, which are a lot better. You can't seam as much. Obviously, I've got to put sleepers in the places where the gaps are. Another thing, here's a section of the tillage track. Have a look at here. You'll see there's no dog spikes. All right, so if you need to put droppers in, use those locations, and therefore it'll be easy enough to take out the sleeper. I found that easy enough. Now, having said that, I put droppers on every single section of track, not to use the joiners. Basically, I think there's one spot here where I'll need to be very careful, yeah, we can go from there. The other thing is, you may notice that the layout sits up pretty high. Okay, so the track height here is 1.4 meters. Okay, so it's fairly high. I'm tall, so I'm good. Obviously with this section here, you'll have the Avon River, just a little tiny bit of the Avon River gets in about here. So I've got to do a bit of recce on the scenery side of things. Yes, hello. So here, for example, the cutting goes up in, I think, 2 steps, but it's about yay high. It's sort of this high, you know. So if you're looking at it like that, that's ginormous, but it's got to be sort of angled away. Don't worry about the backdrops. The backdrops haven't been fixed. You can see a little bit of a gap here and there. So they're sitting loose because I haven't figured out exactly how I want them to lay. They're basically in there by tension, but hopefully you can see what I'm looking for, that sort of angle sort of through there, and just a nice sweeping curve all the way through. Nothing too extreme, just a nice gentle curve, which is the actual location, and have that sort of brutalistic effect of, highly engineered location, almost zero compromise type of look about it, and high engineering factor, I guess, without being too crazy about it. But yeah, so there's one of the uprights there. Now that obviously has got to come out, but it was there for me doing a visual and trying to figure out if I can actually do it or not. And obviously the answer is yes. But yeah, so that's sort of it. I'll try and step back a little bit here without falling onto stuff and what have you. So gives you sort of an overview. All right, so I'm going to keep on working through this, and obviously the lights are already in, so they really create a great effect, and they're just stuck in underneath there. The usual LED batten lights, and they produce a really nice shadowless, if you know what I mean, because the light's bouncing all over the place. So if you you can see here, if I even put my hand over it, it's all diffused. So you want that diffused light all over it, so you don't have that sharp shadow light that you get with LED strips. And got to be honest with you, I don't think I'll ever go back to anything like that. I'm happy to use these. They've got a nice diffuse to it, they're plug and play basically. But yeah, and I'll just go around the other side here. There's plenty of other room in the train room for further extensions and what have you. But at this point, that's what we'll do. Okay. All right. Have a good one.